You want to take a family vacation, but you don't want to break the bank. Harder to do right now with high inflation. I've got 3 money-saving tips for your spring break. That and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so it's spring actually when I'm recording this, so it's spring break, and I'm not talking about college spring break and all that. No, I'm talking about responsible adulting spring break as a family, and it's challenging right now. Even though we've come off of the sort of the roaring 20s, if you will, for coming out of COVID, and where there seemed like extra cash because you couldn't go on vacation, couldn't do anything. Well, now you want to go and make up some of that lost time and go on trips and have a vacation, have some memories with the family. However, we're sort of past that honeymoon phase, if you will, where, well, we've all got extra money in the bank and interest rates are still low and the economy seems great. No, we're sort of on the darker side of that, if you will. And for most people, any excess savings has been spent through and then some. Why? Because we've got record high credit card balances and record high credit card interest rates. We've got mortgage rates at, near 7%, highest level in, a decade. And so, and further, like, we're all feeling the pinch of inflation, right? So how can you still do that spring break for the family or that upcoming summer vacation and yet do it in a financially responsible way? I've got 3 tips that could help you still take that vacation, but without the financial hangover or financial guilt. The first tip is to not put the vacation on debt, not put the vacation on a credit card. And no, it doesn't count to say, well, no, I'll pay cash for that, but I've got to put the upcoming car repair on a credit card. No, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. Instead, save up in advance for that vacation. Save up in advance for that vacation. And I'm telling you, and it's hard, you're not going to want to hear this, but if that means you don't have the cash to go on spring break this year, then save up in advance and go on a great spring break next year. Why? Because guys, putting that money on a credit, or putting that vacation on a credit card is going to cost you on average 20%. Those are average credit card interest rates. And right now, if a full vacation, and I have no idea the size of your family, what you'd want to do, let's just say it's $4,000. If the vacation is $4,000 at a 20% interest rate, that's going to cost you an extra $800 over the next year, versus being patient and, yes, maybe frustrated and a little more pale than you want to be, and delaying that vacation and saving up for it in advance so that you can go on a great vacation next year. Not only will that avoid $800 of interest rates, but you'll actually be saving up in advance in $400 at 4% interest rate, about $160 of savings, and you're not going to have that full $4,000 for the full year, but still maybe $100 in interest payments that you'll receive versus $800 of potential interest rate costs that you'll have to pay. So saving up in advance. What's the financial hack that I use for that? What we recommend to our clients is a 3 bank account strategy, your delayed spending account, the second bank account. Bank account number 1 is your immediate expenses. So immediate spending. How much money is coming in every single month, and what are all the monthly expenses, what are all the monthly bills, and therefore making sure that you've got a balanced budget. But then also bank account number 2 is taking a look at what are all of the non-monthly expenses. Some of these are needs. Yep, you need to pay for deductibles when that happens. You need to pay your life insurance. You need to pay property taxes, those sorts of things. Some of them are wants, like vacations, like gifts, like, car repairs, car replacement, home repairs, those sorts of things, all right? So figuring out what are all of those non-monthly expenses, adding all of that up, dividing it by 12, and having that fit within your monthly budget, saving up in advance for those things, okay? And then the third bank account is your emergency fund. So if you're planning for all the known monthly expenses, all the known non-monthly expenses, well, the emergency fund is how you save up in advance for all the unknowns, all the emergencies that could come up. That's the 3 bank account system, and saving up for vacation is a delayed expense item, a delayed spending item that I want you to save up in advance for as opposed to putting it on a credit card with additional risk and additional fees and charges. So that's the first and fairly obvious financial tip, but guys, you just can't say that that's sort of self-explanatory right now because of the booming and blossoming overall credit card debt amidst record high credit card interest rates. Now, the second way to financially make sure you're still able to go on vacation but have it be financially more manageable is to drive, not fly. I didn't mention the disclaimer up front that you're not going to like any of these tips, by the way, but they're helpful. This one, guys, I don't like, and I just did. I don't like it, I just did it. I'm fairly frugal, okay, and you'd expect that. We eat all of our own cooking, so anything that I'm communicating to you, our financial advisors are communicating to their clients, we're doing ourselves, okay? So I've got a family of 5. So myself, married to Cindy, we've got 3 kids, and we were in travel sports, and it's very expensive and all that, and last summer, Cindy sort of, while we're sitting at a softball tournament, she says, we haven't taken a family vacation in over a year. Over a year. And guys, that's coming out of COVID. And so, yeah, okay, dad fail here. And again, so frugal, I don't want to spend money on that, but we said we're going to go on a trip between Christmas and New Year. And that's what we did. We looked at renting a condo. The condo actually was about $1,300. Truly, we found a discount on it, about $1,300 for the week down in Florida. I looked at pricing it to fly down there. $2,500. It was $500 round trip, okay, for each of the five of us, $2,500, and then plus we've got a family of 5, so we can't just Uber it around. So we're going to need to rent a vehicle, and renting a vehicle would be another $1,500, and that is if they even had a vehicle. They'd likely take our reservation, but they wouldn't be able to hold our reservation. Seinfeld reference there. So another $4,000. So the flight was going to be twice as much as staying in the stinking hotel. So we said, no, we're going to drive. And I know that there's wear and tear on our vehicles, but I also know, and our kids were unbelievable, it will never happen again. 3 stops. 3 stops on the 17.5-hour drive on the way down, 3 stops on the 17.5-hour drive on the way back. And each of those 3, we timed gassing up the vehicle and buying meals. Now, let's assume whether we flew or drove, we're gonna need to buy the meals. But if we flew, we would have had to pay for the flights. Instead, we drove, we had to gas up the car. 3 stops, say we filled up every single time, $75, and I'm ballparking there. That's less than $500 total for gas going there and coming back. And you might say, well, you had to gas up the vehicle while we were there. I know we would have gassed up a rental vehicle. Anyways, guys, $2,500 of flights, plus call it $1,500 for renting a vehicle, $4,000 versus $450. So I don't like it, and my kids didn't like it either. Trust me. I mean, 35 hours in a car total, no one wants that. But you're paying for time. You're paying for the flight so that you get an extra, call it a full day of your vacation. That might be worth $3,500 to you. To me, I'd rather drive. And then lastly, last tip to help make your upcoming vacation more financially manageable is once you get to your destination, the first stop, the grocery store. That's right. I think we've all gotten a little bit more accustomed to when I'm on vacation, I'm going out to eat. Yeah, when I'm on vacation, I don't want to cook and I don't want to do dishes. I get it. However, if the first stop is going out to the grocery store, and at least you're covering breakfast, maybe half of your lunches, and maybe 1 or 2 dinners, do you know how much that's going to save you over the entire week? And it might not be fun, but you can time those things up with extra time that you can go do other things, right? Because going out, at least for us, going out to a restaurant for a meal, that's like an event. Well, pick a different event. Go for a family walk or go down to the boardwalk or do something else, and you'll have more time to do that if you accompany that with, well, we're just going to make sandwiches at the house or something like that. Stopping at the grocery store and taking care of a few of the meals so that not every meal is going out to eat where you're paying all of the prices for that, but plus tips and those sorts of things, that can really add up and make a big difference when it comes to the overall cost of the vacation. So don't put it on a credit card, save up in advance, drive, don't fly, and do what you can to limit your amount of out to eat expenses. That can help you stretch dollars, still do that vacation, but do it in such a way that financially it's cheaper and there's less of a financial hangover or financial regret. Work with your certified financial planner to make sure that you're managing your entire financial life in a synergistic way so that your present financial position, where vacations and 3 bank account system would sit, all fits nicely within all 6 areas of your financial life. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.